Hi guys, I'm Ashif Ali and watching CGHOW video. Today I created this blood eruption effect in Unreal Engine 5.6. So let's start this tutorial. So I will create a new level and I'll just use this. Let me make just lighting little darker and this ground little bigger. Now I will create a new folder for this effect. Blood erupt. Okay, so basically this is stylized, so it will not be like a realistic blood. Okay, so let's start this. So first you can use a mesh or sprite, or you can use both. So let's try it with the mesh. So what I'll do, I'll take a Niagara first and take this and it's blur. Okay, and I need a conical mesh, and if you don't have, you can just take a slender, then you can make that conical using material. So I will just search uh, slender, although I have conical meshes, but I will use maybe just tube. This kind of mesh I will use, and it's a slender, but it don't have caps. And if I'll show you it's pretty high poly. Okay, so I'll use that. So let's take a new emitter here, and inside this, I need that mesh. And I just need one particle for now, just one particle, and that just spawn once and live forever. I like to make the size of that mesh little bigger, maybe 10. We have this, and I can make this local, and then I will drag it into the viewport here, and we can now make it even bigger, like 100. Okay, and pivot is here on the bottom. You can see that. Now I want to make this wider from the top. So what I'll do, let's save also. I'll make a material and I'll call it M Mesh Blood. And what I'll do, I'll preview that slender in my material here. And to make it wide from here, what I'll do first, I'll take a texture coordinate, Shift C for the mask, and I'll preview this green channel, which will be a gradient for top to bottom. Now I have this gradient. You can invert it if you want. So I will invert it. So my top will be white and my bottom will be black. Now like this. Then I will multiply it with a vertex normal. And then again multiply it and take a dynamic parameter. So this will be my WPO and this will go here. So if I now just take the particle color and just connect it here, and I don't take anything for now, let's save this. So now this is saved. So I will just browse this, and here I will apply that material. So I will override this and override. Now it turns white because I am using particle color. And now with that dynamic parameter, if I increase this value, you can see it's now white from top. And we can use how much we need. So I think from the bottom I need little less. So this is 100. I will reduce this. So this is overall. So I will make this non-uniform, and height is 100, but I want this 50-50 like this. I think this is enough, maybe little less, this much. Okay. Now we can add material on it, like that pan on this full texture. So in here, now I'll take this aura texture, this one, and basically I will use this as translucent and default it, two-sided. And what I'll do, I'll multiply this with alpha and we'll go here. And then for the tiling, I'll take a texture coordinate, multiply to vector, or you can just take the append vector, and then you can make the tiling X and Y separately. So I will call it TX tile X, TY tile Y. Then we need pan, and of course pan will go up. So I'll just make it 0.5 for now. We can change it later. So for now, I'll also take the power here just to dissolve this if I want. And then I'll call this parameter. Let's call it dissolve. So it's pretty clear. I'll save it again. So now here, I'll make this red, direct color, red, maybe actually red, but dark, maybe this much. Then with the dynamic parameter tiling, I'll put 1 and 1, and this is dissolve and it's going up. Now we can reduce the tiling, like we can stretch it, we can make it 2, and we can also increase the alpha, maybe 5, and then we can dissolve it. So it will be hard and like this. You can also fade it from the top, but if your camera like that, you are not seeing that top part, you can avoid that for now. So for now, I will avoid that. Okay, because my focus is here. This is my camera angle. Okay, this is my camera angle for me. Now I want it to make it pan fast. So what I'll do, I'll take the one more dynamic parameter, make it 1, reset these, and I'll call this pan. And for that, I'll take a time, multiply, and this will go here in the time. So I have now all the things. One more thing you can do, because it looks flat, so you can use the same texture and multiply it with the color also. And now just save it. So now it's saved, and now you can see the difference. And now we can make it faster. So we have some, oh, it crashed. Let me open it. So Unreal Engine opened again. Let me check if my file saved or not. And let me open the map. Okay, so yeah, it's gone. So let me check. Yeah, material is there. It's just something gone here. The material is not applied actually, so I will just apply it quickly. So just applied, made it red, and I also changed this thing 50, 50, and red. And then I'll go here in the dynamic parameter. So I'm using Unreal Engine 5.6 preview 1. So that's why it crashed, and it has something new here in the dynamic parameter. So maybe it will crash again. Let me check. So I'll make the tiling 1 and 1, and then I'll make this wider from the top. And let me just save again. And then I will just make it, because it is float, so I will make this one also float. And now I have this pen, so I can make it really fast. And I think this setting is perfect. So this is my camera. One more thing I will do, I will change the alpha maybe 5, and then dissolve a little bit. Yeah, now it looks much better, but little darker. So maybe 0.5 is enough. Yeah. We can also tweak tiling if you want. So like this is, and what you can do now, you can just copy and paste and make this really bright, maybe like 5, and then dissolve it and change the size also, maybe 52. So it will be visible on top of that. You can also do that. And one more thing, the edges are very sharp. You can fade those edges. So you have to just go to the material. And you have this opacity. So what it'll do, take the Fresnel. I'll use this to invert this, take the power. So basically it will be black edges now. And with the power we can control. So I will just connect this. So I'll call this Fresnel power. Okay. And then uh, before this, I will multiply it with this Fresnel. Then we'll go for the opacity and for the color. So I'll just save it. So it's saved. Now here, if I isolate this first one, and here in the dynamic parameter, if I increase this, you can see now edges are faded. It looks much better. Maybe this much. We can increase the tiling, maybe 3 and 1. Or maybe 0.8. And then this one, it's not isolating, yeah. So just like this. So you have this. Now edges are all faded. And you can like dissolve it. You can do one more thing. You can copy this one more time here. This time I will make it big, maybe like 60. And I will not dissolve it much, maybe this much. And I'll also make the alpha less, maybe 2. So this will be just to fill it up. Maybe I'll make 80, and also make this like this much. So you can see the change. Now it looks more filled. And for the tiling in this one, I will reduce this. So it should look more stressed. Let me save again. Now we will add some droplets in it. So for that, if I have a texture for drop, let me check. I have, and it has with the normal map. So this is the material. So this is actually 3x3 sub UV random frames for the blood. We can use it. Okay. So I'll just browse this, and in here I'll take one more emitter. This time I can take fountain because I need similar behavior, and we have this fountain. So I'll just change the material, and it is 3x3. But these are random frames, so I will not take here. Then I'll take the animation and just make this random and choose here sprite render. Make the size maybe 20 and 5 is enough. I'll make this slender and 0 height. And yeah, it's already looking good. And maybe I'll make the velocity a little more up, and life maybe 3. Cool. And some I want stress, so I will duplicate this. And in this one, I'll just make this velocity aligned, and then I'll take the size by speed by size, and I'll make this like 2 and 5 or 10. And make this maybe just 10. Cool. But spawn rate should be very low, maybe just 20. Cool. And now we will add like some streaks that will not come back. So I'll just copy and paste. And now in this one, I will remove the gravity, and I will stretch it really high, maybe 50, 20. And I'll turn off this, and we have just this. We can stretch this like this. Life maybe 1 and 1.5. And actually, this is too much, maybe 30 and 10. Yeah, yeah, I like it. Now we need to add something here on the ground like a splatter and then some spikes maybe. So let me make some spikes. For that, what I'll do, I'll duplicate this. And in this one, what I'll do, delete the gravity and I'll take here radial translucent material, maybe this one. And I need velocity aligned and I don't need sub UV. I don't need this. Life maybe just 0.2 and 0.1. And it should be like almost like dark red like this, maybe 20 and 10, alpha maybe 5. I don't need this. And even more darker, maybe I can just randomize this. So I will just make this like 0 and 1 or maybe 0.5. And what I'll do, instead of point velocity, I'll use instead of cone, I'll use point velocity and make it negative. So it will be like this, maybe 40, 30. Yeah. Yeah, I want it like this. It looks better. Now I want some smaller, so I'll just copy and paste and make this brighter but smaller, maybe 5, and thinner, maybe just 10 and 5, and maybe even more brighter like this. Cool. Now I want something on the ground like a splatter. So for that, let me search if I have splatter texture. I have actually, but let's make out of just a noise texture. So I will just make M splatter. What you can do, you can take the aura texture and you can take chaos and open this, take this motion for vector, paste this here, delete this. Now make your texture a object, connect it here. So basically your texture will pan in all direction, if you can notice here. Okay. Now texture coordinate for the tiling. So I make a dynamic parameter and this will be our tile. This will be our speed. I'll call it speed. And then I'll take a power. So this will be our dissolve. And actually I'll take a radial and then multiply it with this. Then I'll take the power. And maybe radial density, I will make a parameter. So it all depends how you want. And then I'll take the particle color and I'll just connect this here, and this will go in the opacity. I'll make this translucent and to side. So it will be cut in a round shape like this. So I'll just save this. Now I will browse and here I will duplicate this emitter. And what I'll do, I'll isolate and I don't need this. I don't want to align it. First thing I want to do is I don't need velocity. Size of particle should be like 150, and life maybe I'll just make it 1.5. Then I want to align it on the Z axis. So it's camera facing. So I'll use alignment, custom facing vector, and I'll take here align to mesh orientation. Instead of X, take the Z. Now it's Z facing. Now I will take my material, select it here. Need a dynamic parameter, and default values will be tile 1, speed 1, dissolve 1, density 2. And let me just save also. So now you can see what is happening. So let's make this 5, and you can see if I dissolve it like this much, we have this. And we can just use fade in, fade out and make it little darker, 0.5 and 0, and make it bigger, maybe 300 and 200, or maybe 500 and 300. And I'll make the alpha maybe 10, even bigger, 800 and 500. So now you can see how it's looking, maybe 600, and life maybe 0.8. I'll make it here. You can play with the tile if you want, like this, but one is enough. Then I can copy and paste this, and what I'll do, I'll make it even more bigger, maybe 1200 and 1000. Make it little brighter, and alpha maybe down, maybe 2, just to fill like this, and maybe little more like this. And the speed is too high, so I will make it like 0.2. And yeah, FX should be like on 0. And to just fill this area, what you can do, you can copy this, paste, and I'll remove the alignment. It should be camera facing, and I'll take the shape location, and I'll take torus and just this, and size maybe just 200 and 100. I'll make this maybe 50 for now. So it will be like this, but size of torus is too big. So it should be like this. So it's now covering it up. And I hope this looks fine. Although you can do one thing. Your drops, you can duplicate this. Make this little more wider. And make the smaller, maybe 5 and 1. And make this like 500. It's too wide. Just to fill it up. It's too small actually. Maybe 8 and 3. Yeah. So I think this is it. This looks nice. I hope you liked it. Thanks for watching. Keep learning, and bye-bye.